Sports Court with 13 on your side. The case: should there be a universal shot clock in high school basketball?
Testimony.
As someone who has covered his fair share of high school basketball games over the year, I have to say a resounding yes. Far too often we see teams just dribbling the ball out, running no offense whatsoever, just passing the ball around the perimeter.
Saying you're bored?
Like it's 1950s, we're around the four-corner offense. What's happening here? Yes, high school hoops needs a shot clock.
Okay, I've been bored too, I'm not gonna lie. You take the shot clock, and I think you're gonna see a lot more blowout games. I knew a coach in Ohio, he would take his boys team, and he would win games by the count of like 22-16. It was like watching paint dry covering those games, but I understood why he did it, because he led his team far into the playoffs every year. You take that out, you're gonna see a lot more one-sided games, and it's not gonna be good for the sport.
Mike, wouldn't you say that this would make coaches try a little bit harder to cook up some offenses, knowing you gotta get a shot up in 24 seconds. You can't just pass it around for 3 minutes until there's a wide open backdoor cut?
I think it definitely would make life a lot harder for them. It's not like in college where you can go out and recruit players. Sometimes you're given the guys you can play with, and a lot of teams from a lot of different areas are just better than other teams. Let me ask you this question. Where are schools gonna find the money for these shot clocks? I know a lot of athletic directors that are not gonna wanna pony that money up.
You look at all the high school football fields out there, not every high school football field has a separate clock for the play clock. A lot of those fields use the game clock, and the officials keep the time to call delay of game penalties. You can do that at a basketball game. Just already use the gym clock and use 24 seconds off whatever the game clock says to run your shot clock.
Closing argument.
To Mike's point about some games being blowouts, that would be true, but some games are already blowouts because there is sometimes a talent disparity at the high school level. But I also think sometimes you hurt the kids in not preparing them how to play against better competition when they can just dribble the ball around for an entire quarter, and if they really feel like it, only shoot the ball once. Ultimately, you want to prepare these kids to play basketball at its highest level, and to get a shot up in 24 seconds or 30 seconds or 35 seconds, I think would prepare them to do that.
Look, I'm someone who logs on to Facebook every morning. I listen to CDs in the car, and I use scripts when I'm on the air. I like tradition. I don't like to go away from tradition. And I think there's a lot of people like me in high school basketball. The purity of the game, the way it's played, you had a shot clock, it's all gonna change, and the next thing you know, it's gonna be something you don't like. We don't need a shot clock in high school basketball.
The verdict.
Now it's your turn, jury at home. Go to the 13 on your side Facebook page and let us know what you think.
Or text COURT to 616-559-1310, and we'll send you a link to the post where you can comment or tell us what we should argue next. Previously, we argued on whether Jim Harbaugh should have been Big Ten Coach of the Year. The overwhelming consensus agreed with me. No, and I love who won. Matt ranted Harbaugh is one of the last coaches to deserve that award. It took him 8 years to beat Ohio State. Give him a gold star and move on. And Lynn said, why? Just because his team beat the Buckeyes? Well, the Spartans beat the Wolverines. But to finally counter those, Aaron said yes. First team unranked at the beginning of the season to make it to the college football playoff. He's doing something right. You got a point, Aaron. You'll also be doing something right if you tune in next week to get an early Christmas present, another collection of bloopers on Sports Court.